right, awesome. What's going on YouTube? Got an exciting live for you today. Yeah, just leave that, leave the website up the whole time, Jaden. I'm at the bottom there, so just leave that up the whole time.
I'll leave both of them up.
Yeah, all right. So if you're seeing at the bottom there and you're watching this, I guess live probably be the only way. Make sure you are going to that website. It's a live free training to do. I'm doing tonight, 11/9 at 7 p.m. Central. It's live. I'm going to talk about how to buy rental properties in today's high interest rate market and cash flow more than you could last year. Great live, limited seats. If you're watching the recording, like most of you probably will be, that's gone. You can still DM me for Instagram. I can maybe send you the recording or send you a different training. Want to at least offer that to you. But most people that are watching this watch it after the fact, and you're not going to be able to see that because it's live and one time only. That's what that website is, so go there ASAP if it's before 7 on the 9th. All right, so let me introduce myself, and like I said, then we're going to get into some of my thoughts on the market. Then I'm going to do a giveaway, which I just kind of did, and then I'm going to talk about 2 formulas that you need to master if you want to buy rental properties. I own over $42 million worth of rental properties I bought without using any of my own money. I've been able to buy them because I've mastered these 2 formulas I'm going to give you today. They take time, they take effort, there's a little art, a little science, but if you can master them, you will create wealth. It's just be a matter of when, not if. So that is huge. We're going to get that here in a second. That's what she said. And then I'm going to do a little bit of Q&A. So make sure you're hanging around. If you're watching on YouTube, give this video a like. If you're watching the live or the recording, I literally, this whole thing, I've seen people sell this whole little thing for hundreds of dollars. I'm giving it for free, if not more than that. So give me some love. Give this video a like, please, whether you're watching live or the recording. Put in the chat box where you're from, live or the recording. Just interact. The more interaction, YouTube likes, they like watch time, they like comments, shares, all that stuff. So help me out and do that. Thank you for being here. You could be anywhere else, so I appreciate you being with me here right now. Got over 2 million followers on social media, so hopefully you're one of them. On TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Got a podcast, The Faster Freedom Show. So hopefully you're partaking in all the free information I give out. I have thousands of hours of free content on social media. And to finish my introduction, I own $42 million worth of real estate, apartments, single-family self-storage, commercial. I own a house buying company that's going to flip, well, wholesale about 250 and rehab 300, but buy and sell 300 houses this year, all discounted distressed properties. So I do a lot in the space. I'm not an expert at everything, but I am at real estate investing, and I'm here to help you as much as possible for free. All right, so that's my intro. Market thoughts. Now, this is big. This is, again, every time I hear that, that's what she said, just has to come out of my mouth. Anyways, so the market is shifting, and it's shifting on purpose, okay? We need to get Celsius to sponsor. They get more screen time than anybody else, and it's free for them because we drink them in the office. All right, so the market is shifting. It's not going to crash. Jerome Powell has said, and he will say, I'm going to talk about this tonight, that the market is shifting, but he has tools to fix a broken market and a recession. What he does not have tools for is inflation. His only tool to fix inflation is to increase interest rates. So he's going to do that until we are in a recession and a market softening, until the market really slows down and not crashes, but really starts to take a downturn. And then, once inflation is under control, he has interest rates he can dip, he has funding, stimulus, he has a ton of different things, tools he can use to rebuild the market. So we are in a market shift, but it's a purposeful market shift. If you watch Meet Kevin, the biggest fear monger I've ever met in my entire life, or never met him, but the biggest one I see, all his videos about the world's ending and crashing, I think if it were up to Meet Kevin, we would be a third world country by now. Luckily, what he says is not true, or at least what his thumbnails he says are not true. So have some nuance and have some perspective when you're listening to other people on social media. Are they doing that to get you to click on their video so you watch it so they get paid? I made $548 on YouTube last month, so I don't make a lot of money on it, so I'm not trying to get you views to get paid. I'm just trying to give you actual information that's real. So Jerome Powell, head of the Fed, he's going to make the market slow down and not crash but dip drastically. Drastically, I'm talking 5–10%. He wants that to happen. And I know that's happened in some markets, but overall, it's not happened in the real estate market. He's going to make that happen, slow down inflation, and then he's going to easily and quickly build it back up. He has tools to fix it. He needs to break it, then he's going to fix it. So it is a controlled fender bender, not a crash that's uncontrollable like, oh wait, this is under control and he's doing it on purpose. So that should be reassuring. If you buy a property today that's worth 300 grand, you keep it as a rental, next year it might be worth 275. But guess what? In 14 years it's going to be worth 600,000 because real estate doubles in value every 15 years on average. And you're going to be buying in markets that are pretty standard and pretty steadily increasing. You're not going to probably buy very many rentals in Miami or downtown LA or downtown New York. So the rental markets you should be buying in remain steady and will double in value, if not more than that, in 15 years. So don't get caught up on this hype, on this the world is ending, on this short-term little blip. Real estate doubles in value every 15 years. Even if it dips, it doubles in value every 15 years. You bought a property in 06, it dipped like crazy. With everything that happened, it doubled in value. So even with a big crash. So don't get caught up on that. So the market is being affected. It is a controlled fender bender. It is not an uncontrollable crash. Invest in real estate. Take these 2 formulas I'm going to tell you about and take them to heart, learn them, study them, and buy real estate now. Because nobody's ever regretted a good real estate investment deal, a good asset. Obviously, that's a little bit of hyperbole, but if you buy a good property, manages it well, the values fluctuate, it's still a good investment. All right, giveaway, I just talked about it. So if you're watching this live or relatively quickly after it's released, go to that link in my bio, TikTok, Instagram, and what's going down below me here on YouTube. And if you go there and it's after 7 o'clock on Wednesday the 9th, I'll just DM me on Instagram or go link in my bio. I have general free training that I can send out or you can get access to. But this one-time little, I feel like I had to go live to talk about the recession and, the real estate market and encourage people to still invest because real estate's still a good investment. All right, so that's kind of the giveaway. 2 formulas and then Q&A. Let's get onto the 2 formulas. No moaning. All right, the 2 formulas. The 2 formulas that we're going to talk about today are we're going to talk about the max allowable offer formula and we're going to talk about the cash flow formula. So I have bought $42 million worth of rental properties using these 2 formulas. Every single property has equity from day one. I walk into equity, I close on the purchase and the refinance and I have equity. And then every single one of them cash flow. So I've been able to do that over the past 6 or 7 years to the tune of $42 million because of these 2 formulas and these 2 formulas alone. I mean, other things, but these are the 2 driving factors that have made all of those good investments. And you can still do it today. That's what the training's going to be on tonight about how to do it in today's market. But today, we're going to keep it simple. We're going to focus on the formulas and how you can understand them and how you can play with them and practice them and learn them and master them. All right, the first one is the max allowable offer formula. And if you're going to buy rental properties the way that I do, the way that I would encourage you to do, which is none of your own money so you can scale, you're going to have to buy distressed properties with equity built in. What does that mean? What's your price? Because these aren't listed on the MLS. There's not a ton of comps for a house that needs 60 grand worth of work. There's no way to know the real value unless you do this. So the formula is, and I'm going to break it down, the formula is ARV times 75. Is that a good 5, Dakota?
Love it.
Is that great? That's a good 5. I think I was drawing a percentage sign and I...
It's got like a mullet.
It's a party in the front, business in the back. 75% minus repairs / costs. That is not a division sign, that is a slash. So I'll explain all of that here in a moment. Move this a little bit for you. All right, so it is ARV times 75% minus repairs. Let's break down ARV, this number, and then let's give you some real life examples. Again, this is something you're going to master over time. It's I would say 75% math and science, 25% art, so it's something you can master. And if you're on YouTube, give this video a like, please, if you have not yet. Literally, I keep saying the word literally. My daughter says it all the time, and I'm like, why do you say literally so much? And she says, because you literally say it. Anyways, that was a dad joke that I just walked myself into. But anyways, give this video a like. I'd appreciate it. This is something that is literally worth hundreds, if not thousands of dollars I'm giving you for free. And I have thousands of hours of free content on social media, especially YouTube and my podcast. So would appreciate a like. It really does help YouTube push this out more. They give like a 10% like ratio. So if 30 people like this, it'll get 300 views. If 500 people or 50 people like this, it'll get 500 views, those kind of things. All right, so like, I would appreciate it very much. All right, so ARV is the first thing it stands for, after repair value. Now I'm going to say this and then some of you are not going to listen and that's okay. But it's after repair value. After the property is fixed up, you will know relatively closely what it will sell for and what it's worth. It's hard to know now, that's why I give you the formula, but after repair value is relatively easy to find. I'll explain it here in a second, but you find comparable house sales. So if you're looking at a 3-bed, 3-bath, 1,500 square foot house, you need to find 3 3-bed, 3-bath, 1,500 square foot house in a immediate area of the house that you're looking to buy, this distressed house, and you find 3 of them that have sold as recently as possible that are in good condition. Houses are based off of the, whoa, we're really skipping there on Instagram. Yikes, sorry about that. There's choppy. I don't blame you all for not being there. So if you're on Instagram, it's a nightmare. Go to YouTube at SamFasterFreedom. All right, anyways, so you need to find 3 comps is what it's called in the industry, 3 comparable house sales. Houses that I can't even deal with that. We're just going to exit out of that. That's a nightmare. You need to find 3 comparable house sales that have sold in the past, hopefully 2 or 3 months, because when your project's done in 2 or 3 months, hopefully or less, the bank and the potential buyer, whoever you're going to sell the property to, refinance or sell it, probably refinance it, they're going to go do the same thing. They're going to look for a house that have sold recently. So we're a little more into that, but ARV is after repair value times 75%, built-in profit margin, minus your repairs, which is your rehab cost, but your holding cost, your owning cost, your interest, your utilities, all those things have to be bucketed into one. Now, ARV, I would say quickly, the 3-3-3 rule is what I call it. You need to find 3 houses that have sold in the past 3 months within 0.3 miles. That's what I would use there. But while we're doing that, let's do a quick example. So let's say you looked at some comparable houses and you think that you saw this a 3-bed, 3-bath, 1,500 square foot house, a house in pretty darn good shape. It hasn't rehabbed, but it's newer, nicely updated, sold for $305. And then you saw a really nice house sell for $315, same size. And then you saw one that's pretty rough sell for like $290, $295. I would conservatively say a brand new fixed up house with the market shifting is going to be worth $300,000. You multiply that by 75%, and then let's say that you ran some numbers, you got some comps, you got some quotes, you talked to some other investors, some different people, and they are saying that the property probably needs about $40,000 worth of work. Well, you're going to go over budget, you're going to go over time, and you need to have some flex in there, and you need to pay like somebody you're borrowing the money from. So conservatively, put $50,000 in there. Now, obviously, there's more to that. That's the mastering part, practicing these things. But $300,000 times 75% is that $225? I think it is. Yeah, it's $225. So $225K minus $50K means for this house, when somebody brings it to you, I don't care what they're shopping it to you for. They might not even have a price. But if they bring you this distressed 3-bed, 3-bath, 1,500 square foot, you ran these numbers, your buy price, your max allowable offer should be $175. So maybe offer $165 or $170 or $155, whatever, if you want to negotiate. But if you buy it for $175 and you were conservative and correct here, and you were conservative and correct here, you will be able to refinance out or sell it and make money. So super, super simple, yet not quite. So let's do it at a little bit bigger of a number, because to show you that the price or the value doesn't really matter. It can be kind of worked on any houses. So let's say simple math but bigger numbers. Let's say it's $1 million house times 75% minus 150K. What is that? 1 million times 75% is 750K minus 150K is 600,000. And very many people of you that are watching or that weren't paying attention earlier, weren't around, are going to be saying that no one's going to sell you $1 million house for 600,000. Who thought that? Raise your hand, thumbs up. No one's going to do that, right? Wrong. It's not $1 million house. That's what it's worth fixed up. If it needs 150 grand, and this is like a 3-bed, 3-bath, 1,500 square foot house in San Diego or something, or a much more expensive house in a smaller market, it's not worth $1 million because it needs 150 grand. That's probably a complete gut. It's probably falling in on itself. The roof is collapsing. There's mold. There's foundation issues. It's a nightmare of a house. So it is not worth anywhere near $1 million. You're able to get it for 600,000 because it's distressed and because there's an issue going on with the seller for whatever reason. So that is the max allowable offer formula. It takes time and practice like anything else to master, but in general, if you can be somewhat accurate, you don't have to be exact. If you're conservative, if you're wrong on both these numbers, you can still make money, especially if you're conservative. But if you're right, then you're good. But if you err on the side of a little bit overdoing it and you're wrong, you'll still be able to make money. You can be wrong on both of these numbers and still turn a profit. But the goal would to be not be wrong. All right, so that's the max allowable offer formula. The second formula is the cash flow formula. Pretty simple. This one is rent minus expenses. That's it. And that's what the property is going to cash flow. Now, the beautiful thing about it is you can, again, like the other formula, pretty realistically be able to come up with something that will tell you what it's actually going to cash flow. It's not like a, close your eyes and pin the tail on the cash flow donkey. This is like something that can be pretty known and pretty accurate. So your rent, you can find by finding comparable rents on Zillow or Rentometer. So the little purple icon on Zillow, that's houses that are for rent. Now you can look at the rent estimate and look around a little bit and all those kind of things, but who knows how accurate they are. However, the most the way you can actually get accurate would be finding rents that are that 3-bed, 3-bath, 1,500 square foot house. Find houses in the area that are in decent condition that are for rent or that just rented. You can find that on Zillow or other places, and that's what your house is going to rent for. So you take your rent minus your expenses, and let's go through the expenses and how they can be known. There's 6 main expenses you need to account for. Number 1 is your mortgage. So you take your rent minus your mortgage. Your mortgage, you should know this number. You're going to get quoted from a bank at 6.5% over 25 years at, your what were we all in that one property for? 175, purchase, rehab minus repairs. So, all in for, no, I guess it was 225 because of the after the repair. So you take your 225, which is what you're going to have in the property, and 6.5% over 25 years, so you know your monthly mortgage payment. That's a known. Then you subtract out your insurance, which again, you're going to get quotes. I'm going to have this house. It's going to be worth $300. I'm going to owe $225 on it in this area. Insurance brokers, not State Farm, but your like actual investing insurance brokers. What's my monthly insurance rate? So you'll know that. Get quotes on it. The next thing you're going to be able to subtract out is your maintenance. I know they didn't spell right, but I put $150 a month aside for maintenance. Some months we spend $500 on maintenance, but several months we spend $0 because they're recently rehab property, so there's not like they need a ton of work. And give the video a like if you have not on YouTube, would appreciate it very much. So it's something, some people may say 100, some people may 300, depends on your market and area, but you will set money aside for current and future maintenance. So if you get a $800 water heater, it's not like out of your cash, it's out of the cash you accrued. Then the next thing you subtract out is vacancy. I like to say 5%. Your property is not going to be occupied 100% of the time. Our tenant moves out every like 4.5 years. That's really good. Hopefully you're getting similar, or you will. But every few years, the tenant's going to be gone, and you're still going to have this and this, not maintenance, I guess you might have to repair a little bit, but you still have expenses and you're not collecting rent. So you need to accrue hopefully several $1,000s over several years so that you're not out of pocket when the property's gone. The next one is property management. I would say 10%. Even if you're managing yourself, I would put 10% of gross rent aside in case you ever do hire it out. You don't want to hire it out and then lose cash flow. So make sure that's in there. So mortgage, and then the last is real estate taxes. Property taxes, this is something you can find on, either the MLS, tax, Zillow, they usually are pretty accurate on their tax data. So if you're able to take the rent, minus all those expenses, and after all that positively cash flow, 200 to, if not more, but 200 to 500 bucks a month, and you have the equity, you're able to hit the equity, not on the $1 million houses. That's an example just for buying it. There's probably got to be that $200,000 to $500,000 house depending on your market. But if you're able to have equity and buy it at that number, and you're able to cash flow this, then you buy it and you execute, and you just added a cash flowing rental and use the BRRRR method. Didn't use any of your own money probably, and all those fun things. So that is those formulas. Double tap or thumbs up, link in bio. What questions do we have, if any? Throw some in the chat box if you would like, and I will get to a few.
Let's see.
Are you mic'd up or not?
No.
Okay. Somebody said, where do you get the leads? So we get our leads from wholesalers and real estate agents are the main sources. We do direct mail and a lot of leads generation as well. If we don't have a ton of questions, that's okay too. Yeah. Cool.
We got some on YouTube. I can pop them up.
All right, pop up the YouTube questions. We need to get, sales agents to sponsor us. They get so much free airtime. All right, so
Peekaboo says, I'm a professional handyman in Seattle. I'm about to start working with real estate groups. Can you tell me if it's a smart idea and what should I know before working with investors?
So yeah, so somebody said they're a handyman, they want to work with investors. So go to your local meetups. If you're a handyman or you're an investor, that's where you're going to have your little first date. I guess you're going to kiss on your first date. That's why I'm doing that. That's all you got to do, first date. Make them hold out, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, that's where you're going to go and meet at your meetups. That's where contractors go, handymen go, insurance agents go, real estate agents go, wholesalers go. So go to your local meetups and connect there. And you're working with investors, just know you're probably going to have to give them a little bit better deal, but it can be continual work, and that's more important in my opinion. And then somebody said, is the property management 10% of the entire rent, 10% of the entire rent? So if rent's for $2,000, put $200 aside for property management. That's, in general, property management companies are usually 5 to 10%. So again, everything's erring on the side of conservatoriness. I don't think that's a word.
So you had a poll at the beginning of the video. What is keeping you from investing in real estate? Are you scared, don't know where to start, have no money, or you have bad credit? 44% of the people said they have no idea where to start.
44% of you said you have no idea where to start. Well, start here. I'm going to give you 2 places to start. Number 1, I already said it, but join your local real estate investing meetup groups, join your Facebook groups. Those are 2 places where you're going to meet. So who do you need to meet, I guess? 2 steps back. Who do you need to meet? You need to meet insurance agents. You need to meet real estate agents. You need to meet other investors. You need to meet wholesalers. You need to meet bankers. You need to meet hard money lenders. You need to meet private money lenders. You need to meet all these people, and it can be daunting and overwhelming, but they all meet in one place every single month at your local meetup. So go to your local meetups, and if you don't have a local meetup or you don't want to do that, go to your local real estate investing Facebook groups. All those people I named, everybody you need to know, all meets in those places. So start there. Join your local community. Number 2 is follow somebody that knows what they're talking about. So make sure you're following me and other people on social media to give away free advice. And then finally, I would suggest getting a mentor. I have a mentorship you can DM me on Instagram about, or click on the link and find out more about in the description. I think Alex Hormozy said it best. He said, if I made $75,000 a year, I would spend $75,000 a year on bettering myself and educating myself and buying other people's knowledge. All right, what states are best to be looking for these properties? So rental properties, the best place is going to be, in my opinion, the Midwest and the South, Southeast. Affordable areas that you get decent cash flow, decent appreciation, and fair laws for tenants and landlords. If you get to the coast, it kind of sways a little bit too heavily towards the tenants, in my opinion. I don't feel like I should spend all my time, energy on a property and then somebody can squat and live there for 18 months without paying me. I don't think that's fair, so I would never buy anything in those areas. When rehabbing a property, how do you find reliable, good contractors? Local meetups. Local meetups. Talk to other real estate investors. You'll find the local meetups, and that's where you're going to, that's really where you're going to find the right people with the right connections, and once you get to know one, continually use that same one. Last question. Do you recommend as always using hard money or private money? Yes, 1,000%. One more, not 2 more. We got shit to do, and there's probably literally going to be, I bet there's less than 5 people that are watching it at this point on the recording. So you're going to find contractors with that at your local meetups, and I would always leverage money at private and hard money and bank money if you want to scale. If you want to buy 1 or 2 more rental properties ever, maybe use your own cash if you have it, but I would scale and use other people's money.